Hello and welcome to the lecture about AR storytelling. My name is Alex, I'm a PhD student and I'm also a game developer with several game conference awards, among which are awards for best game design, for best visual art and also several nominations on excellence in storytelling. I also had an experience developing AR projects. I guess that's all about me. I guess we should start. I wish you luck and have a good time.
So the goals of this lecture are to describe meaning of storytelling, to describe importance of storytelling for AR applications. Well, for you it will be like to understand the importance of storytelling for actually any form and type of application. It can be games, serious applications, educational apps for kids or not for kids, and many more. To understand like what a storytelling consists of, which techniques and mechanics you can implement in your app in order to improve your storytelling. We'll also try to outline what methods of storytelling exist nowadays. We will look at several examples, what methods are used specifically in the AR applications, and how to find proper storytelling methods for your AR project. But what does storytelling mean anyway? There is a national storytelling network community that defines storytelling as an ancient art form and a valuable form of human expression. This short definition doesn't really tell much, or does it? If you look up other definitions of the storytelling word, you'll find that a lot of them refer to pretty basic process of one person telling verbally some story to some audience. This kind of definitions feels very simplistic to me, since we have music for a fantastically long time, we have movies for quite a long time, we have video games also for a long time, and applications of different forms like VR, AR, MR that appeared recently. And what most important is with each of these new form of expressions, as intelligent creatures, we develop new ways of telling stories. And what is more astonishing is that audience find these new ways, these non-verbal stories, more interesting, immersive, and intriguing than the verbal ones. Letting an audience work out the end of the stories themselves shows that storytelling is about understanding the idea behind the story. After all, the famous concept show, don't tell, which is usually attributed to a Russian playwright Anton Chekhov, exists for some reason. For example, let's just think about music. Music brings additional tempo and context to the process of telling stories. Music enriches feelings that we get from a story. Sometimes music can even tell us a story without any words. And movies brought us a magic of moving pictures that also can tell stories. Silent movies can tell you a story without any actual verbal stuff, just like music. Games brought something really new and complex to the storytelling. Games added interactions, a choice, a power of changing stories. With games, we are not just an audience, but we become a central part of a story. Virtual and augmented reality has all this power of music, movies and games, while having something unique. While movies and games are about immersing audience into their imaginary world, augmented reality is about giving additional context to our real world. I am leading to the idea that storytelling is not only about words or speech, sometimes it's not even about a story. This is a complex of techniques that will help you, as a creator of any kind of art, transfer your idea to the mind of the user of your art. With AR projects, the success of your app depends on how good your user understands the idea behind it. How to make user of my AR application feel the experience I've designed. This is a question you should ask yourself during the whole development process. In a few words, AR storytelling for you basically should mean a collection of storytelling specific techniques and tricks that you can implement in AR application that improves the overall experience of your application. I also want to mention that when you try to find different storytelling styles and techniques on the internet, you will often stumble upon the term narrative. Since I'm not a literature expert and this lecture is about AR and IT domain, I'll give you just a basic key difference between storytelling and narrative. Well, basically narrative is a spoken or a written array of events which creates a story. And storytelling, on the other hand, is a process and at the same time a method of representing some narrative to an audience. In fact, I can tell based on my experience that in game industry at least, nobody really uses storytelling and narrative as separate meanings. Most of the developers use these terms as one meaning, and this meaning is narrative storytelling.